Welcome to this explainer on the psychology of chronic stress. Today, we're diving into something incredibly personal. It's a stark reality that honestly boils down to this. The threat is gone, but your body, it never got the message.
For a lot of us, this brings up a really painful sense of recognition. You might literally be living in a permanent, exhausting state of emergency, sweating the small stuff, completely unable to just chill out, and you might not even realize it's happening. The key insight we're unpacking here is that the actual danger has passed, but physically, your nervous system is still blasting the alarm.
It's kind of like having a hidden enemy trapped right inside you. Your nervous system gets stuck in this continuous, agonizing loop of fight or flight. Just imagine a fire alarm that goes off for a legitimate fire, but then, well, it just never stops ringing. Weeks, months, even years after the flames are totally out, it's still screeching. That is exactly what's happening inside your body right now.
Now, to really understand why this is so damaging, we've got to distinguish between acute and chronic stress. Acute stress, that's perfectly natural. It's built for immediate, fleeting survival. A car swerves into your lane, you react, you survive, and boom, the stress fades. But chronic stress is a relentless, grinding biological trap. It happens simply because your body is never given the all clear to just stand down and recover.
To really grasp why this happens, we need to look under the hood at the neuroscience of this trap. Seriously, it's a complete myth that chronic stress is just all in your head. As we're about to see, it's deeply, and I mean physically, embedded in the actual gears of your biology.
So meet the amygdala. You can think of it as your brain's threat detection center, your ancient biological alarm system. Its one and only job is to keep you safe by constantly scanning the horizon for predators. But for someone dealing with chronic stress, this incredibly vital alarm system gets tragically and sometimes permanently jammed in the on position. And when that alarm jams, it kicks off a rapid biological cascade. The amygdala detects a threat, your nervous system instantly jumps into fight or flight mode, and cortisol absolutely floods your body. Once in a while, sure, this is fine, but when it literally never stops, your body is essentially marinating in those angry little stress hormones 24/7.
Well, that brings us to a tough but absolutely vital shift from pure biology to deep psychology. What actually happens when danger starts to feel normal? If your baseline growing up was chaotic, say a household with unpredictable moods, constant arguments, or just a general lack of safety, your nervous system actually physically adapted to survive that exact turbulent environment.
Which begs a really profound question. Why does danger feel safe? I know it sounds completely backwards, but think about it. If your brain learned early on to treat absolute chaos as the normal baseline, then peace and quiet, that actually feels terrifying. You learn that letting your guard down is the exact moment you get hurt. So you literally cannot relax, even when you're sitting perfectly safe on your own couch. There's a really dark irony to the whole thing. The very system designed to protect you becomes the thing that imprisons you. These exact biological mechanics, evolved over millions of years to keep you safe from predators, have essentially become the thick iron bars of your own cage. Your survival instinct is working overtime, and ironically, it's trapping you in total misery. And listen, this imprisonment isn't just some vague psychological feeling. It literally hides right there in your physical body. One of the biggest tragedies of chronic stress is that we rarely connect our physical ailments to our traumatic pasts. People just think, oh, I have a bad back, chronic migraines, or a mysteriously weak immune system. But really, it's actually their body physically storing the past. All that unprocessed stress physically manifests as chronic tension. Your muscles are coiled up like a spring, bracing for an impact that just never comes. It shows up as mystery illnesses and obviously severe exhaustion. I mean, of course you're exhausted. Your body is running a biological marathon every single day. It creates this hypervigilance where you're constantly scanning the room, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, even if you're just doing something completely mundane, like grabbing milk at the grocery store.
But hey, there is hope, and that's the resolution of our explainer today. You can actually rewire your nervous system. A brain that's been running on threat level red for decades can actually be healed. Now, it's definitely not an overnight fix, but scientifically speaking, it is entirely possible to teach your body how to finally step down from the ledge.
Rewiring your nervous system basically requires proving to your exhausted body that the war is finally over. First, you've got to recognize the false alarm, basically catching your amygdala right in the act of lying to you in the present moment. Then, it takes actively processing that stored trauma to finally release all that chronic tension. And ultimately, it requires teaching your body safety.
proving to your nervous system day by day that it is in fact okay to put the armor down.
I want to leave you with the provocative question about your own reality right now. Are you reacting to the present, or is your body still surviving the past? Answering that honestly is absolutely the first step toward real freedom. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you want to continue exploring the hidden mechanics of our minds, make sure to subscribe to Dark Archive. The archive is open.